Hello all sentient beings and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, we are joined by Epyk as we review Transformers Back to the Future Issue 3. We discuss a possible filming location for the next Transformers movie, and we go over an interview with the editor behind Transformers My Little Pony 2. Today is Friday, March 19th, 2021, and this is episode 225 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that hopes Optimus Prime is watching all the drooling and layoffs in the big basketball tournament this weekend. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how you doing? Let's enjoy the shooty hoops.
The amazing Epyk.
Hello.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand why you guys like this so much. Should be concentrating on their schoolwork and not playing basketball. Let's talk Transformers.
And you say I'm the old man.
You literally just showed us in the last show that you are a legitimate old man now. When does your Social Security kick in?
In 22 years. All right. As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you guys for continuing to support the show. We really appreciate it. And we got to give a shout out to our longtime duly appointed supporter of the Transmissions podcast, Tom Proscia. He has just signed up for another year of Transmissions goodness. He joined the Patreon officially. So he was previously just donating through PayPal, but now he's on Patreon and he's kicked in another yearly subscription. So you're stuck with us for another year, Tom. Thanks for sticking with us.
Tom's great.
All right. And as one of the perks for being a Donatreon and being on the Patreon, you can check out the early bonus uncut version of Empire of Rust episode 46, Iron Eagles. And this is exclusive to Donatreons. This will be out Monday, March 22nd. And this is a week before the episode actually drops in the Empire of Rust main feed. So if you are a fan of Empire of Rust, the first and only Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, you get the episodes early, and it's all the stuff that was left on the cutting room floor as well. So this is a much bigger episode before the main edited episode comes out a week later. So that's for all you Donatreons out there. And Jeremy, America's Next Top Podcaster. That's still a thing, right? How you doing on that?
Yeah, I made it through another week. The first judging session, I believe by the time you hear this, the second one is out, but I'm talking about the first week this time and survived. We'll have links in the show note to my team submission, my profile on the site, and the first judging. And you can subscribe to the America's Next Top Podcaster podcast feed, and you can get all of that just in your podcatcher and all the other teams' stuff. And yeah, then the next one was an investigative podcast, and I know more about fly fishing lures made from ornate bird feathers than I ever wanted to know. So listen to my submission next week, and you can find out about that.
All right. So let's all tune in. All right. Now let's get into the show. We'll start off with some comics news. Okay. So first up, we've got the Transformers Generations book 2021. This is from Japanese publisher Hero X. And this is a book they publish every year that goes through all the toys that came out in the previous year. It's kind of a really nice art book. They've also got some comics. They've got some I guess for the 25th anniversary of Beast Wars, they've got they're going to have an original comic in this book, and there's a little teaser image featuring Convo Bat and Metalligator, and these are also known as the Beast Wars Bat and Crocodile, Optimus Primal, and Megatron that were released here in the U.S. But you can check out the little teaser image and look forward to this coming soon. This is going to be released May 13th of this year. So, of course, this is in Japan, so you could order it through Amazon.jp if you want to get this book from Japan. Next, we've got an interview with Megan Brown, who's the IDW editor on the My Little Pony Transformers 2 miniseries that's coming later this year. And it's interesting interview where she talks about her experience working on this crossover and how it was different working with the Transformers characters as opposed to the My Little Pony characters. So that's a nice little perspective from the editor on this book, and I'm looking forward to this. I enjoyed the first crossover last year and they took the Transformers to Ponyland, and now they are taking the ponies to Cybertron in this second version of the crossover. So looking forward to that. I think it'll be another fun series. All right, and last item in comics news, and this is pretty cool because this involves us. So this is Kayan Carlisle. This person does animation, and they animated the Beast Wars issue 1 comic and used the voiceover taken from our AMA interview with David Kay. So this was you can watch this on YouTube. They tweeted it they put it up on Twitter, and we retweeted them from the Transmissions account. And everyone was really impressed with this. Of course, David Kay's performance is awesome, so it was very easy to take that. And then, but Kayan did all the animation in this video, so it's a really cool video. Really shows off all the work that they did to animate it, and then putting in the voiceover from David Kay just makes it awesome. I mean, his performance was really great. I think Daryl and I had a bit part in there, but Kayan heavily modified our voices since our performances are not quite as professional as David Kay. So
I do wish they weren't as modified. But I understand why they modified them, I guess. But I wish they weren't as you almost can't tell it's our voices. Yeah. Maybe that's the point.
I think my part was probably the best in all of this because I didn't say a word.
Yep.
But yeah, this was cool. I mean, it was really impressive just seeing the animation with David Kay's voiceover. It was impressive just, while we were doing it, of course David did a great job, but seeing it overlaid with this animation, you can tell just how awesome he is as a professional voice actor and how he really did a great performance and pretty much right off the cuff. I mean, it's not like we did a lot of preparation for this. He just read it right from the book. So awesome. So everyone check that out on YouTube. It's doing pretty well too. I think it's got more hits than the original AMA video. But he linked to our video in his YouTube description. So thanks for that. But yeah, awesome, good job, Kayan. I hope I'm saying your name right. Sorry if I'm not. All right, that's all the comics news. So we will move on to our comic review.
All right, we are talking about Transformers Back to the Future number 3. It's finally out. We've been waiting a long time. This is written by Kanan Scott, art by Juan Samu, colors by David Garcia Cruz on pages 1 through 5 and 7 through 10, and Candace Hahn on page 6 and 11 through 20. Letters by Neil Yukitaki. I hope I'm saying that right. And editors are David Marriott and Chase Maratz. There are 3 covers. Cover A has Gigawatt and Doc Brown blasting into action. This is by Juan Samu and David Garcia Cruz. Cover B welcomes you to Doom Valley, and this is by Chris Panda. And the retail incentive has a Constructicon peering over the clock tower at Doc and Einstein, and this is by Dan Schoening and Luis Antonio Delgado. So, Epyk, let's start with you. Which of the three do you like?
I actually feel called to cover B. I couldn't really pinpoint why or whatever. This time around, I actually had kind of a hard time, but something about cover B, the depth of it and the sign and it being Doom Valley, all this stuff, this one just really caught my eye, and that's what I'm going with. Cover B.
Cool. All right, Charles, how about you?
I gotta agree with Epyk. Cover B was, I just thought that was a really striking image. All the signage, the dystopian future, and Doom Valley. Yeah, I like that. Although I did notice a typo. It says on the left, Megatron welcome you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
But I still like this cover.
All right, Daryl, how about you? Is a typo sway you away from cover B?
I like cover B. It's a nice cover with the Doom Valley. That's fun. I do feel that it's the camera angle on it's too close. Like you barely see any of
Gigawatt.
Yeah, Gigawatt there. So probably I'm going with cover A on this one, just because you get a lot more of the characters there. You get Gigawatt, Doc Brown, and Einstein, plus a Megatron silhouette at the back, plus all of the really crazy 90s colors. That's really kind of fun. Yeah, it's just, I do like the sign for Doom Valley. That's really fun. But, that typo, that fucking ruins it. Plus, Megatron on it is supposed to be like a graffiti, right? So is it supposed to be just blank welcomes you? Or welcome you? What is he graffitiing over?
It should be like the Kiwanis Club or whatever.
I have a big problem with that sign all in general. It's just a mess. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I have to agree with Daryl. I think cover A is very dynamic. You get more, like you said, it was more zoomed out where you get more characters. So that would be the one I'd choose. And since I do the images for the episodes, that's what's going to be on the All right, into the story. In Decepticon-occupied Earth, Biff Tannen is being accused of deactivating Scrapper by the other Constructicons. He pleads innocence, but they aren't buying it, and they start firing on him. As Tannen runs away, Bone Crusher transforms to chase after the human, and knocking him off a pile of Energon cubes. As Biff is about to have his bones crushed, he's saved by Doc Brown. Doc blasted Bone Crusher with his Alpha Wave Ionic Nullifier, and he escapes with the McFlys. Doc has a plan to contact the Autobots by using the Decepticons' communication tower against them, and they steal some hover sleds to get over to it. When Doc goes to send the message, he hands his nullifier to George McFly, but Biff tries to grab it, thinking that he's better suited to use the weapon. In their struggle, it drops and makes a noise that causes Longhaul to check out what happened. Einstein runs out as a distraction, and Longhaul chases the dog, thinking he was the organic that made the noise. Taking advantage of this, Doc gets a signal out right before Biff fires the nullifier at the communications tower. No matter the timeline, you can't trust Tannen. In the desert, the Autobots and Marty are heading towards Hill Valley, and they arrive just in time to see Doc, George, and Lorraine set for execution by Starscream, the Constructicons, and Biff, who's now in an exosuit. Not wanting to waste time with the plan, Marty just charges in, grabbing a pipe, and he hits Biff's blaster right as he's about to fire. Starscream has had enough of all this, and he orders the Decepticons to fire. However, before they can start, the Autobots arrive and attack. Marty loads his parents into Gigawatt, while Doc says that he needs his nullifier, which Biff has mounted on his exosuit. Before Biff can do anything, Einstein jumps over his back and knocks the nullifier into Marty's hands. He quickly blasts Biff and sends him into a waste disposal machine. With the nullifier in hand, they can help the Autobots, and Skills has an idea. He scans a hover sled and uses it to modify his skateboard alt mode into a hoverboard. Marty hops on and begins blasting the Decepticons. All that time playing gunman has paid off once again. However, Skills is blasted by Starscream, knocking Marty off. Rodimus saves him by telling Starscream one shall stand and the other will get knocked into next week. The Autobots seem to have saved the day when suddenly the clock tower begins rumbling and transforms into a giant, extremely well-armed transformer. To be concluded. So this was a fun issue, I think, pretty much action from start to finish. I enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the little bits like Biff going into the waste disposal machine, which happens every movie. He gets into some sort of manure or something. I thought that the use of the nullifier was a good MacGuffin in the issue. And just overall, it was just a lot of fun. I mean, doesn't take itself too seriously. I do want, I don't know if we've ever seen a Transformer scan something and only take a piece of that to modify their alt mode. That seems new, but it makes sense that it's something that they would be able to do. The art was good for the most part. I thought that the scenes with Rodimus seemed to have been drawn, I think Rodimus was kind of the best strong character out of the whole thing. And it had kind of a Region 1 feel to me. But overall, I think it was drawn pretty well, and just the writing was great. So, Epyk, let's start with you. What were your thoughts on the book?
I really enjoyed it. One thing that always gets me, though, is the idea of Transformers having to chase humans, because I feel like they just take one step and we haven't even run 10 feet. So
right.
That's always a thing that makes me giggle, is like the idea of them having to chase it. But then, love the artwork. Don't understand why anyone ever trusts Biff, whatever. But, no, I love, there's one of these pages here, which I don't know, but when Doc is talking to Biff, it's just this kind of cartoony face pointing his finger into his chest or whatever, and it's just so Doc Brown. It just made me laugh. I love the artwork style of the humans in this.
Where he's pointing at the tower?
No, when they just rescue Biff.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the page before that where he's. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Just above that. Just, I don't know. It just made me laugh because I could totally see, that happening in real life with the actor and stuff. But no, I really enjoyed the artwork throughout this. The story moved along at a really nice pace. I didn't feel like bored ever. There's always just something to keep you going. And then with the clock tower reveal at the end, I want that to be a figure.
Yeah.
But no, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it and can't wait to conclude it.
Yeah. Well, Daryl, are you looking for a Titan class Hill Valley, clock tower? Or courthouse?
I mean, as much as I am looking forward to a Fortress Tiberius, I mean, they're on the same level, I think. I liked the story. It was fun. The amount of characterization they gave to Biff Tannen in this was perfect. He just seemed like an absolute shithead, and just one that why are you even dealing with this guy? Like, he's a piece of trash, and he ends up in the trash, which is just, it's the equivalent of, him crashing his car into the manure pile, right?
Yeah.
So that's just great. I really liked the way that Biff was portrayed in this. The art style is also, I had a lot of fun with it myself. It's basically like every character got a caricature in this book.
Yep.
Everyone was. Yeah. It wasn't like too overdone, but just enough that you could say like, yeah, that's Christopher Lloyd, but just turned up a little bit. Just enough
to not pay royalty.
I guess. I mean, you could make a case that they all look like their movie counterparts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked the way everyone was drawn here. There was really, I mean, the Transformers are in it, but the story's really more about, you know, the human characters in this issue. The clock tower bot, whatever he's going to be called, it's ridiculous, but at the same time, I'm looking at him thinking like, fuck, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Because he's made out of brick and wood.
Yeah, how is that going to work?
And I'm like, what the hell is this? He's going to be so heavy. How is he going to work? But I mean, I'm applying real world physics to a fucking comic book, right? So I don't know. I think it's just fun. I'm enjoying this book. I'm not trying to put any kind of like seriousness behind it because it's ridiculous on its own premise. So just read it, and I'm having fun reading it. And sure, if there's a Fortress Tiberius kind of situation in it, who gives a shit, right? I don't care.
Right.
It's fun. Sure, the clock tower turns into a giant robot. Why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun
There's
with
not
it.
going to be any consequences in any other book.
No. Have some fun with it. Let the writers just kind of go nuts with it. And this is nuts, man. This is nuts.
Charles, how about you? Have you ever seen the exosuit being used like as ineffectively as Biff? Even Daniel seems to have a better handle on it.
Someone should have told Biff to think about what he wants to do before he does it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this issue. I thought it was really well done. I liked the story. I thought the action was well done. Yeah, I mean, it was really the Back to the Future characters getting thrust into the post-apocalyptic Transformers world. So I appreciated that. I mean, and Biff, of course, being Biff, betraying. You know, it's one thing to want to take over the world or want everything for yourself. It's another thing to betray your entire species to the Decepticons. So I guess he takes his villainy to another level.
Yeah, what a dirtbag.
But I really liked Rodimus Prime's design in this book. You mentioned, Jeremy, how well designed he was. I liked just the fact that it's set in 2015, so you can imagine if the way, since Megatron got the upper hand in the 80s, he caught Optimus Prime off guard at some point and managed to kill Optimus Prime, and then the Matrix passed to Rodimus, and that's all in the background. But then now in the future, Rodimus struggles to fight back, and then even Starscream is like, "You're the pretender to Optimus Prime's crown." I like that little line. But yeah, it was a fun story. I think it's all setting up for this great finale with the clock tower bot. So I just wish this book had they had kept to a better schedule for these books are like so long to come out. We need the whole story. So
I think when number 4 comes out, I'm gonna have to read all of them back to back just to get a good feel of the whole story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was I think this was a really fun crossover in general. So I think the ending will probably wrap things up in a nice little bow and put everything back together again. But yeah, this was I liked the twist of having Gigawatt be a Decepticon that we had last issue. I thought that was cool, and then he turned traitor and became an Autobot, and that was unexpected. And then we got this little skills guy, this completely completely new Autobot character. And Bumblebee's Bumblebee in the future is missing an eye and everything, and is missing a door in vehicle mode. So it's nice to show that how he's kind of beat up after I guess 30 years of fighting Decepticons. So yeah,
it's like post-apocalyptic.
Yep. So
yeah,
it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah, well, we're looking forward to whenever issue 4 is going to come out. And these crossovers they've been like really kind of hitting the right kind of feel on these with the Ghostbusters and this and even the My Little Pony stuff. So I'm looking forward to the inevitable Top Gun crossover comic. It hasn't been announced, but
But how couldn't they?
Yeah.
It's done already.
The movie's going to come out eventually.
It's done, and they're just waiting.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, come on. Tom Cruise, he's never wanted to turn down a paycheck. But anyway, this is Back to the Future, or Transformers Back to the Future number 3.
That was Transformers Back to the Future number 3, and we will move on to Transformers Media News.
All right, in media news this week, not a whole heck of a lot, except for one thing to do with movies. And the whole Transformers movie market is coming up north. It's headed to Montreal to film in for the Transformers, the 7th Transformers movie. No title for that yet, but they've settled on the MELS Studios near downtown Montreal, and that's where they're going to start filming Stage 3 there. And so they're saying stuff about how all the COVID safety protocols are being prepared. And I guess they're going to start filming soon. So that's pretty cool. They did Pet Sematary there, Jack Ryan, and X-Men Dark Phoenix. So, so
out of those 3, Jack Ryan is excellent.
Right. Yes. Jack Ryan is actually really good. Yeah. And I didn't even know this was here. So, I don't know how long they'll be shooting here. I know that there's a lot of movies tend to film in a bunch of different locations. So who knows how long they'll be in Montreal. Montreal is a 6-hour drive from me. So if they're here for a while and COVID gets under control, that'd be pretty awesome to visit them on set, but it seems like poor timing that, for me to do anything like that. But, anyway, that's, something I thought about when I first heard this.
I don't think they're just going to let you roll up and walk right into the studio either.
No, but they've traditionally had like fan media.
Yeah, those things. Come on.
That was before time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, Charles, don't they know who I am?
He's the man behind the podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just bring
I forgot
Kyle
you were
and they'll let you in.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought this was pretty cool.
My infant wants to see the robots.
Yeah. And, so this was pretty neat. And, I don't know. Jack Ryan was good. Pet Sematary I've never seen. And X-Men Dark Phoenix was kind of terrible. But I don't think you can blame that on the production studio. So, like, where the movie was shot. So, anyway, that's the only thing in media news this week. Pretty slow week.
All right, and that will do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Epyk, thanks again for joining us this week. So tell everyone where they can find your stuff online.
Head on over to epyksuicide.com. That's EPYK suicide.com. And there you'll find all my links.
All right. And as always, we end the show by giving a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrions. So thank you again to John 4X11 Good and Dinobot Maximize. And you guys really keep the show going. Thank you for supporting us. And if you are not a Donatron but still want to help us out, you can buy some merchandise from our TeePublic store. That's at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And anything you buy through that link from TeePublic will help out the show. We've got cool shirts, masks, other merchandise there. Check it out. Wear your, show your Transmissions pride by buying some shirts and wearing our logo. All right. That'll do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
This is embargoed, so we got to do it at the end, unfortunately.
Oh.
Suckers.